Good morning, Laguna Beach. Today on Laguna Business Group, I have the wonderful, amazing Jen Ballou with JuJu'Be Doula, and we're gonna learn about why she is the most amazing Laguna local you should know about. Jen, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Jen Ballou. I am with JuJu'Be Doula. I am a local who lives in North Laguna. I have an 8-year-old son who goes to El Morro, and we've been living here for about 5 years.
What is your favorite part about being a Laguna local?
Well, this.
I know, right?
Of course.
Right.
That, and for me, it's really about the community and having that sense of community and building community and creating community. And this is such a perfect place because there's so many creative individuals and there's so much potential here to really grow that community type atmosphere. And with being in, the family-centered type business, it's not only creating those integrated families, but then integrating them into the community as well.
Right. And you came from Michigan?
Yes, I grew up in Michigan.
Okay.
Yes, Detroit area.
So what was like your first impression of coming to Laguna?
It was really just frequenting the beach. I'm a single parent, so I don't have that, him and I, it was just the two of us. And so when we came here, he got to play with like other kids and other families and kind of have that, again, that community feeling and everything. So, and I felt safe here.
Sure.
I felt safe and secure and just had that good vibe going.
What is a doula?
So a doula is somebody who is a non-medical care professional, and they provide various levels of support. So a lot of it is emotional support. It's also education. When it comes to birth, it's birth education. When it comes to postpartum, it's newborn care guidance and different things like that. And it very often within society now, all the focus is on medical care. And so doulas kind of provide that extra support that you won't find with doctors, that you won't find at the hospital.
Sure.
It's what you really need to know in order to have a baby and to create that family that you want.
And you mentioned the word whole, and that's actually, dash holistic birth wellness.
Yes.
So what is that, and what does that mean to you?
So first, holistic is the idea that you are connecting to the whole person. So you have your physical body, but you also have, your emotional well-being, your psychological, your mental well-being, your spiritual well-being as well. So it's not just looking at one aspect of a person, it's taking a person as a whole individual, not as distinct parts.
Sure.
And so that's the holistic aspect, not only just as the individual, but also as the family as well. So you have each individual that makes up that greater whole. As far as birth wellness, birth itself is a life event. It's not a medical event. And within, the current state of society, birth is viewed as a medical event and it's treated as a medical event. So birth wellness is the idea, if you have a healthy individual who's having a healthy pregnancy, then there's not that need for that extensive medical care. And it's allowing that natural process to just happen and to support that natural process and not viewing birth as just as an illness or a disease or something to be tampered with.
Right.
It's just natural. We have babies. That's what we do.
I love that. I love the treating it as a life event and not as a medical event, because it really is. I mean, growing into it, you're thinking like, wow, that's a big deal. And then obviously for people in the hospital, they do it day in, day out.
Yes.
And it's kind of, like you said, a procedure almost.
Yes, it becomes a procedure. Exactly.
Right. How did you get into this? What is your story? What was the first moment that you thought, maybe I want to get into this?
I did not have a good birth experience with my son. That was 8 years ago, just over 8 years ago. And I went into birth wanting a specific type of birth. I wanted a natural physiological birth. I didn't want to go the epidural route. I wanted to have this beautiful life experience of bringing life into the world and not be this medical event, right? And I did not make the right choices in order to align to that goal. So I did not hire a doula. I did have great birthing education, but it just wasn't enough. I didn't have the right care provider. He treated me as just another person and not as an individual who had, her own desires and different things like that, who wanted things in a certain way. And so I experienced that loss. And I ended up having a C-section. And through that process of healing and understanding of how it happened, right, and emotionally grieving that experience, I began to see in a much greater perspective how much women need to be supported through birth, how much families need to be supported for birth, that there needs to be this greater awareness of how to navigate the birth process the way that you want to. And so through that desire, through that awareness that I had gained, I wanted to bring it to others, and I wanted to share it with others, and I wanted to create my own model of how to navigate the birth process, you could say, and support moms and partners and families on their journeys.
Some of the best businesses are built on the premise of the person that experienced that problem themselves.
Yes.
And
Always.
then fixing it. And
Yes.
so that your story reminds me of that, of
Yep.
someone that knows
Yes.
and has experienced it and wants to give back,
Yes.
which is the most beautiful thing we could ever ask for in this world. So
Yes.
that's an amazing thing. If you had to pick one thing, whether it's a story or experience, like what was the thing that where you realized, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this?
Seeing that baby come into the world. I mean, it is the most amazing experience. That oxytocin is the love hormone. So oxytocin is what's produced during birth, and it's what gets all the endorphins flowing and allows you to have, that natural birth experience. And as a support individual, I also experience that. And it's every time I see a baby come into the world, it's like, wow. It's just, and to be a part of that,
right.
To be, chosen to be there as a child comes into this world, and to be there with these families during this very intimate time. So I would say that. And then as far as like working with families postpartum, when I'm able to sit down with a mama and, start talking to her, and she begins to open up about what she's really feeling, what she's really experiencing. Not, as long as the baby's okay, or, I'm doing okay, I'm just really tired. It's really, really getting down deep into what mom's really experiencing, and being able to be there, holding her hand, offering support, telling her she's doing amazing, and I'll start crying. It's that, because how often, do we just mask our true feelings, and we don't express how, difficult sometimes or challenging some of these things are.
And as a male, I think, that's something I always think, like, I'd love to do that and be there for my wife when she has a baby, but someone that's been through it, someone that's emotionally, trained to help someone go through these things. I would, as a husband, be like, you be in the situation because you know better than I. That's really amazing that
woman-to-woman support is so key. And it also, it helps the partners process through the experience too, because they can't be, there for their partners like 100%, because you've never been through it before. You don't understand.
I have not.
So,
at least as far as I know.
Yes, and so it's that, it's just having that community and that, that ability to really connect,
Right.
to really connect
Right.
woman to woman.
That's amazing. Who in Laguna might benefit from this?
So I support all births, right? I support any hospital births, home births, birth center births. So it's somebody who wants to have an empowered experience. They want to know what's coming around the corner. They want to know what their options are. They want to make the decisions for themselves and not just be told what to do. So what I often see is that families, they have this idea in their mind that they just go, they get pregnant and they go to the doctors and it's confirmed, they go to their prenatal appointments and then they show up in labor at the hospital, get the epidural, if they're lucky not have a C-section, because C-section rates are so high. But I'm looking for those individuals who want something more, who want to guide their own process, who want to look at the evidence of, does my care provider have high C-section rates?
Right.
Is that something that's important to me,
Right.
to have a vaginal birth? There's no denying that not only the rates of C-sections being so high, but the maternal care when it comes to C-sections, there's a higher morbidity rate and all of that. It's major abdominal surgery.
Right.
And so when you have a doula, they're able to guide you through the understanding of, well, if you go down this road and you take this option, you may have a higher chance of C-section down the road. So maybe we can go in this direction.
Right.
Or maybe we could try this instead. Or maybe you need to find a care provider that's more aligned with your goals and your desires. Maybe you don't even want a hospital birth. Maybe you want to have a baby at home. Maybe you don't want to have to time it and worry about how am I going to get to the hospital at the right time. And it's also, that's another aspect too, is doulas are able to know where you're at when you're birthing for the most part and kind of guide you, okay, now is a good time to head to the birthing location. And then also, again, provide all of that education, all of that experience in order for you to truly make that empowered decision for yourself, for your baby, and for your family. So it's right for you. It's not just a doctor telling you this is what you're going to do or this is what needs to happen.
Right. And especially in like an industry where we run into so many doctors and everyone has their own opinion, etc. It's nice to have a point
Yes.
of reference where
Yes, and it's a system.
Right.
So most often, and I'm not saying there are great, care providers out there, but very often it's this cookie cutter approach. And it's this approach to each individual is not unique in and of themselves. And so it's moving away from that and, again, holistically, treating a person as an individual with their own choices, with their own desires, and not, this is what we do when you have a baby, X, Y, Z, and I'm going to just feed you into the system and hope that everything turns out okay.
Right. And I can imagine the emotional part of it really lacking on
Yes.
on that
Yes.
side, and that's
Yes.
probably where you come in.
Yes, exactly. Yes, again, it's medical care. That is medical care. So as a doula, you come in and you're able to provide that extra emotional support. I know exactly what my moms are experiencing, and if I don't know what my mom's experiencing, I can help her to express herself in order to help her, guide her in the right direction for herself.
Is there anything you offer special for people of Laguna
I do.
that you won't find anywhere else?
I do. I offer 10% off my services and my support for Laguna locals. As far as what I do offer, it's birth support, it's postpartum support. I offer sessions to, if you don't want to book like that whole big package or have me come into your home, which I do postpartum. I cook for you, I clean for you, I guide you on all of the newborn care advice.
Wow.
I help you to learn how to give a baby their first bath, maybe. What do the different cries mean? How can I connect with my baby? I'm having breastfeeding problems. Where do I go next? All of that support, I can be there with you, guiding you along the way, providing you referrals if needed, or if you just need that emotional support. I also provide placenta encapsulation services and something I'm really passionate about, which is hypnosis. So hypnosis really allows you to release all fears associated with, perhaps birth itself, or perhaps what it's going to be like as a parent.
Right.
So I offer deep hypnosis sessions in order to assist you in releasing and relaxing and realizing that this is a natural process and there's nothing to fear. You got this. So again, I offer 10% off for Laguna locals for any of my offerings.
Very cool.
Oh, and birthing education too. Yes.
Yeah, so I was going to say, if someone wants to learn more, do you offer free consultations?
I do. I offer 15-minute discovery session calls where we just kind of talk about, where you're at in your planning for birth or planning for postpartum, and how I can support you in getting you where you want to be, or providing that support that you want holistically.
Someone that would love to talk more with you, learn more about you, maybe even become a doula themselves.
Oh yeah.
Potentially even work with you. Where would someone get started? How do they find you online? Where do they go knock on your door? You don't have to give your address. But how does someone get in contact with you?
So I have a website. It's www.JuJu'Be Doula. That's JuJu'Be.com. I am also on Instagram at JuJu'Be Doula, and I do have a Facebook page as well. I support throughout Orange County. However, specifically, I'm looking to really start working in Laguna with Laguna families, and again, creating that community surrounding creating life, and how do we nurture that community and that connection, and have a space where, or create a space where everybody can come together and share their experiences. So I do have a Facebook group as well on that is for Laguna Beach moms to be and new moms.
Very cool.
And you can email me, and we can get you to be a part of that group.
I want to say thank you for coming.
Thank you.
For being out here on this beautiful sunny day. The sun's coming out now. And thank you, Laguna Beach, for being pretty as ever, and for
and for Laguna Coffee for giving us these coffees.
Indeed. And hope you all have a great one. Thanks for tuning in and for listening and getting to know Jen.
Thank you.
Looking forward to hearing more.
Thank you. Toodaloo.
Adios.